All right, a quick update. So I moved on from WozMon and I built my own little OS, although it's really just a bootloader at the moment. You can see on the screen here we have the terminal emulator. And when I turn on the 6502, a little splash screen comes up with a silly little chimpanzee. Right now, the only thing this thing does is it's sitting waiting for us to run a program on there. This terminal emulator lets you drag and drop files onto it, in which case it's just going to send the binary contents verbatim. And so I've arranged the format of these files and the expectations of this OS so that I can just take little assembled programs on there. If I just drag this on there, now it's running this LED program that you saw before. And if I hit reset, then it just goes back to the OS. I have, let's see, an echo program that I can use to type. Reset, go back to that. Here's a hex dump program that just shows me the hex values of the things that I type, which is useful for developing. And I also added, you can see here, a piezo buzzer, and so I now have this program. And hilariously, because the frequency of the square wave being generated by this depends on the clock frequency, which is right now running at 6.25, if I change the clock frequency, it changes the pitch, and I can actually do that real time. So that's kind of cute. But maybe the most interesting thing is all of this lets me develop these assembly programs and easily test them without having to keep reburning these ROMs. But the OS itself, of course, needs to be installed on a ROM, and so that developing of that is still harder. But what I've done is I've made two versions of this OS that share the same code. One version, the ROM version, is intended to be installed in ROM, and it has the jump vectors. So like this is the ROM version, but I also made a program version that just installs lower in RAM and runs under the one that's running in ROM. And so if I take the program version of the OS, then it installs the in-RAM dev version where the chimp has a hard hat and hammer. But this is now running in RAM, but it's all the same code. And so under that one, I can actually run, for example, the same piezo program. And when I reset, it's just going to go back to the ROM version. So if I want to keep iterating on the development version, then I can modify it and then drag it in there. So just to show how quickly I can make modifications to this sort of development version of the OS, if I go into the code and let's say I change the name to Chomp, save it, and then let's build the program version and then drag this in there. And that changed it there. So this shows that I can very quickly do not just app development, but even iterate on the OS itself. And then occasionally, of course, I could take this development version and then burn it onto the ROM. But I really like having the ability to iterate quickly like this.